there's a very specific kind of pain that this song captures. It's not the typical heartbreak song. It's actually even worse. It's, when you know something is wrong, you can explain it, you can see clearly, but you still don't leave. And that's what Annie by Dijon is really about. It's not really the confusion, it's not miscommunication. You have clarity, but you don't have the action to follow through on that clarity. Anyways, what's up guys, and welcome back to the Monday Show. And today we're talking about a song that I really love. I've listened to this song on repeat for so long, many years. And yeah, we're talking about a song here that is deceptively simple, in terms of writing. But, psychologically, this song is quite impressive, because on the surface, it sounds like a soft, alluring relationship song. It sounds like a ballad, it sounds very romantic. But when you actually sit there with the lyrics, you realize that this song is actually talking about an emotional imbalance. It talks about guilt, being stuck in a situation that you understand it, but you still can't really escape it. And the worst part is that, the person whose POV that we are, listening to, or the person who's telling the story, they know that they're the problem. We're going to mention this person as Dijon right now, just to, personalize it, right? But yeah, let's break it down. Let's break down the dynamic, right? Because at its core, this song is built on an uneven relationship. One person is more giving. One person is showing up more. One person is doing all of the emotional labor. And the other person, their partner, Dijon, he's fully aware of it, but he's not changing. That's basically the dynamic. And what makes this also even more interesting for me is that we're not hearing from Annie. We're hearing from the person who knows she deserves better, but he isn't becoming better. I think that's creative, and it just puts a whole different spin on this trope that we're used to, like I mentioned. It's also kind of uncomfortable because now the song isn't just sad, but it's self-indicating. Right? It's relatable in a sense that you're calling yourself out for your bullshit, right? And there's one line that basically unlocks the entire song, where he says, now grammatically, obviously, it's grammatically incorrect, but emotionally I think it's perfect, because what he's actually saying with that line is that I wish I didn't know what I'm doing. I wish I didn't understand what I was doing, or I wish I was ignorant. Because if you don't know, then you can pretend, right? You can justify, you can escape the claws of accountability. But when you do know, now every action, every moment is a choice. He's choosing to stay the same. And I also wanted to talk about Annie as a character. Annie herself is interesting here because she's barely described, but the little that we do get is very telling. He says, line is crazy because it doesn't mean that she's weak or she's frail or she's broken down. It just means that she is slow to react. She's slow to protect herself. She's slow to leave, basically, which makes her move towards him, before she realizes the damage, right? There's something really tragic about that, that whole situation, because she's not staying because she's stupid, but it's because she's loyal out of loyalty. And loyalty, in the wrong situation can be harmful, self-harm to you as a person. It's a slow kind of harm, right? But yeah, that's one of the things that I really liked about this song. The way that it's structured is very nice too. This is where I really wanted to talk about the song. Structurally, it's doing something that's very intentional. It's very intentional. Verse 1 and verse 2 are basically the same verse. There's very slight changes, slight differences. And in most songs, typically, verse 2 develops the story, but this one doesn't. It resets, or it loops and it feels like the song is stuck, you know, because Dijon himself is stuck. And then you get the chorus where he says, you can change your mind. He repeats it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And on the surface, it sounds like permission. Maybe he's telling Annie, you know, you're free, you can go, you know, you can leave. But the repetition to me makes it feel a bit different. It starts to sound like doesn't believe that she will, you know, or even worse, he's saying it for himself. Like he's trying to convince himself that it's actually possible to change, even though nothing is changing. Things are not changing. They're all still the same. Annie is still loyal to him to a fault, to the point where it's detrimental to her. But yeah, the most honest part of the entire song is Annie I, and he never finishes the sentence. That's actually the best sounding part of the song, right? For me anyways, right? Because he says it 4 times. He says Annie I 4 times, and it's not accidental, it's intentional. Everything is intentional with Dijon, and that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like someone has something to say, but he can't really get it out, right? And he can't bring himself to say it. And what's crazy is we know what could come next. We don't know specifically. Is he saying, Annie, I love you? Annie, I'm sorry? Annie, I don't deserve you? Annie, I can't do this? We don't know. And the song refuses to choose, because the truth is sometimes the feeling is real. You know, you can love someone, but you know, the action never really follows, right? And that's just it. It was a mindfuck to me. I'm wondering to myself, what exactly, you know what I mean? Like, it's like waiting with bated breath as to like what exactly could he mean by this. What is he actually trying to say? But yeah, what the song is really about to me is about the gap between, you know what you want to do, you know, you are self-aware, but you're still stuck. It's about, you know, you watch someone give more than they should and you can't stop them. That's what makes it uncomfortable, because I wouldn't say he's a villain, really. He's not cruel, he's not aggressive, but he's passive. It's his passivity that just makes everything worse. Maybe he likes how it feels to be loved by Annie, even though he knows he's not right for her. We don't really know what he did, really. But yeah, that's just something to think about. And I think that's why the song hits the way it does also, because a lot of people have been there. Not me. Okay, I have, but you have to guess for yourself who I was I Dijon or Annie? But a lot of people have been there, you know, not confused or lost, but you can't act. You know the relationship isn't right, you know something needs to change. And instead of changing it, actually doing what you need to do to make things better, you just sit there, you explain it, you analyze it, you intellectualize it. You're like, oh, okay, this is the therapy speak for what's going on with me right now. But you don't do the most important thing, which is just leave, right? But yeah, that's why the most honest line in the song is the one that never finishes. Annie, I think that is a very important line, because sometimes, I don't know, you know what the truth is, you know, it's not that you don't know the truth, but you just can't say it, you know, you just can't express it, right? Yeah, that's a very beautiful song, man. I think Dijon is very creative with how sparse and how minimalist he is with the lyrical content in this song, and just the fact that he can tell a broad story with just 2 verses that are just repeating, right? But if you enjoyed this kind of deep dive, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. Let me know what you think Annie I actually finishes with, because I promise you everyone hears something different. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. If you guys have any songs that you'd like me to review, let me know. But it was just a random thought. Yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.